Good day and welcome to the channel. We are going to be discussing what I believe to be a great film in this time together. Let us now come to the third instalment of Harry Potter, that being the film. And here it is, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So, this is a great film for several reasons. The way that the film adapts the material is solid. For example, as the films progress, so does the darkness, so does all the evil that is ever present from this point on. And the filmmaker, Caron, understood this and perfectly captured it from the get go, even to the point of the beginning Harry Potter theme and sign being darkened, and that everything all the way through the film only really emphasizes that reality. Just look at the front of this cover of the film. You can see the background is dark, the faces are half moody, in a similar way to the band the Beatles were in some of their albums. This is really spectacular. There could be more said on this point, but I want to move on because there are other things that are important about this film. Let's start with what I believe is a positive, and we're going to contrast this with the books. The book, should I say. So, in the book, there is this theme running throughout most of the chapters regarding the three main characters. This spat that takes place between particularly Ron and Hermione. But later on, Harry finds himself also involved in this through a particular act that Hermione commits. That being when in chapter 11, when Harry receives the firebolt unknowingly from Sirius Black, this causes a rift between Hermione and Harry when she reports this broom to McGonagall. So how this is actually look, there's also a rift between Ron and Hermione because of their pets. Ron believes that Hermione's cat Crookshanks has eaten his rat due to the fact that it's forever chasing it, forever trying to get it. But the truth is that the rat fakes his own death. And this is a part of the later plot that turns out this rat isn't an ordinary rat, it's an animagus. The name of the person is Peter Pettigrew. This plays into the other point, but this whole rift in the film, only one part of the three-way rift is made evident. The other one is kind of silence that's put to the background, and I think that is a good move on the part of the director and writers. But the firebolt being given to Harry isn't actually seen in within the context of its original point that it should have been. It's put right to the end of the film, and I think this is another smart move. So now the negatives. One, in this film, the the professor of that gave the original prophecy continuously throughout the year predicts Harry's death. This gets really sickening to the point that at one point she does actually give a true prophecy, but it's not about his death, it's about the escaped person who escapes returning to his master. We're led to believe this is about Sirius, but rather it's actually about Peter Pettigrew as well, the animatrix rat. The next thing about this film, and I think this is a detriment to the film itself, it took one of the most important plot lines of the film and reduced it merely to a kind of background theme, a post it on the wall, if you will, and that is the whole case of the Marauders. You have the Marauders map, you have one of the Marauders working at the school, that being Lupin, Remus Lupin. But yet, there's never ever any connection made between the Marauders map and Lupin. And far worse is the fact that the group, the Marauders, are sidelined to merely a standing point rather than a central theme of the film, as it should be according to the books or the book. So finally we come to the third thing, the negative. Although there's a kind of positive element attached to it, and that is the whole central line theme of the film, the idea of going back in time to do something. is it's a great theme in the film, but nonetheless there is a negative about it that ultimately, if you take it to its logical point, the person that does this should actually be aging according to the parameters of this idea of time travel. But the positive element is that two people, well, not two people, but two innocent lives are rescued and their ultimate judgment is subverted. Firstly, you have the hippogriff who was ordered to be put to death because of Malfoy's miscreants. And then you have Sirius Black, who was out on the who had escaped prison simply to go after Peter Pettigrew, but everybody thought he was going after Harry Potter. So in the end, not only does he escape prison because of his animatrix form, he escapes another type of prison in the third film, and that is when he's locked up in the tower. Harry and Hermione rescue him, and he is able to flee the scene. So let's round this up now. So this film, Prisoner of Azkaban, is probably the most important work of this film franchise, because not only does it take what was prior to it, the kid-friendly atmosphere, there is still that if you think about it, but it adds to it. It breathes new life into this series of films, and as well as the book, obviously. It captures something really great and puts forth this theme that will now be ever present in the rest of the series. Thank you for listening.